Sometimes a product comes out that makes you think a little different. Makes you think how it is one thing, but really it's so much more. So let's talk about the Luminkey Nova and how it's not just your standard Macropad. So once we jump into unboxing the Nova, the first thing you're met with is your user guide. It's a pretty handy guide. It tells you about the current default settings, how to connect it between wireless, Bluetooth, and wired. So it's handy, set it aside so you can reference it later after we get done building it. Now jumping into the unboxing itself, the first thing you're met with is your accessories. First, you're going to see a couple sets of gaskets. You'll have a black set, which is the stiffer of the two or the harder of the two, and then you'll have a gray set, which is a softer and more squishy of the two. So it just depends on your personal preference. Next, you'll have your 2.4 GHz wireless dongle, which is also handy, so set that aside. And then you have the Allen key from Luminkey, which is always a nice touch. Next up, we actually have the internals of the keyboard. So this is your plates, foams, films, PCB. Starting off, we have a PP plate, and then we have an FR4 plate. So this kit actually comes with two different plates for the tiny keyboard / Macropad, which is kind of awesome, honestly. We have our PCB, which is a hot swap RGB PCB with Bluetooth wired and wireless connection. And then we have our films and our foams. So yeah, that's everything that's in the package up front. We'll unbox these in just a minute, or unpackage them per se, as soon as we get our case. And let me tell you, this was crazy. The fact that we have a small Macropad / micro keyboard that's fully CNC'd aluminum with a copper weight is kind of gnarly to see. And for a size comparison, I understand I have big hands, but this thing is tiny. Like, really small. But it's so well engineered. I was super surprised when it was actually fully aluminum and that it has a copper weight. That's kind of nuts. We can also see that we have a 500 milliamp hour pre-installed battery, which is pretty cool. And it's cool that we also have a tool that is included to actually access everything. So yeah, it's just neat. I know it's extra, like you don't really need this in a Macropad, but it's really cool. And I also found myself utilizing it in a way that I didn't anticipate, which you've seen in the beginning of the video. But before we get there, we actually have to talk about building the keyboard itself. Now, it comes with everything you see here, from your IXPE to your PET to your foams and your pads and your plates. It's a lot. It's like, for a Macropad, it's a lot. It feels like you're building an actual keyboard, like a full-size keyboard or, a regular used keyboard, but just in a micro form. And it's kind of fun. Like, to be honest with you, it's a lot of fun. And I think this is why I ended up using it so much, is because it was so fun and so unique. So, now that we've unboxed everything and we see everything, the last thing we actually need to build this is the switches and stabilizers and keycaps. So we can use whatever you have laying around. I have some sunny side ups from Cannon Keys, some glorious stabs, as well as some nice PVT green handles. So we're going to use these and we're going to get everything built and put together. So remember, the barebone kits only comes with what you see here. You'll have to bring your own switches, your own stabilizers, and your own keycaps. Alright, so now that we're ready to build, it's pretty simple. You just build everything up. So we're going to start off with our PET, and then we're going to go to our switch pad or our IXPE, and we'll just line those up the best we can. It is a little finicky, especially if your hands are a little shaky, but just be patient and you'll definitely get there. After that's done, you're going to go ahead and add in your stabilizers, which these are screw-in stabilizers. So we'll just clip them in and then we'll flip it over and screw them into the bottom. This keyboard supports two, so you'll have the space bar and then the ISO enter. So yep, just clip them in and then screw them in and you're good to go. After that, it's now time for some foam. This is all optional. You don't actually have to run pads and foam if you don't want to, but for my preferred sound, I'm going to actually run foam. So yeah, we'll just lay out and line up our foam, and then we're done with this part. After that, it is now plate time. So we're going to go with the PP plate, just because that's the kind of build that I'm feeling. After that, you'll just go ahead and line everything up and get your switches in. Remember, take this part kind of slow. You just want to make sure all the pads are lined up so you don't bend any switches. Now it's time to figure out which gaskets we want to use before we put everything in the case. The black ones are the stiffer ones and the gray ones are the softer ones. So it's really up to you. It's personal preference. I'm going to go with the black ones just because I tend to type heavier. So yeah, just a bit more stiff is my preferred style. So yeah, It's pretty simple, they're just dumbbell gaskets, and they just slot into the side of the PCB itself. So yep, just line them up and then slot them in, and you'll be good to go. Before you know it, you'll be ready to drop it into the case itself. Alright, now that our PCB is ready to drop in, let's go focus on the case for a second. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in all my case foams. This is both layers. You know, this prevents shorts and it gives a pretty good sound, at least in my opinion. I know some people love it without foam, some people love with foam. You know, for me, for this, I definitely like the foam, so we're going to just drop in both layers before we drop in our PCB. Now that we have both layers in, it becomes probably the most challenging part, and that's just to connect the ribbon cable to the PCB itself. It's pretty simple, just make sure you flip up the little tab, and then we'll just slot it in. You know, I'll speed it up a little bit so we can take less time looking at me struggle with it, but once you slot it in, it's pretty simple. You'll just close the little clasp, and you're ready to go. Also, don't be alarmed as soon as you close the clasp if it turns on. It is on by default, so it's no big deal. Now we're just going to go ahead and line it up with the case, and we're just going to slot it right in. It takes a little bit of force to push it in, not too much, nothing crazy. But yeah, once you're there, you're ready to go. Congratulations, you've now built the Nova. Well, minus keycaps. But before we get to keycaps, I do want to show you a trick. If you look at the slot right next to where your caps lock would normally be, there's a switch in there. So if you actually want to turn the keyboard off, you can just grab something small, put it in there, and just hit the switch and turn it off. Voila, now the Nova is off. Perfect. But still, we need keycaps. So let's go put keycaps on it. And bam, with the power of editing, we now have keycaps. So yeah, and this is what it looks like, the final result. This is the Nova from Luminkey. And honestly, it's pretty cool. And I kind of set it up for what I thought would be a really cool use case, and that's using it as a gaming keyboard. And yeah, you can do different layers, so I have a layer set up for editing, and I have a layer set up for a 10 key, but I mainly use it for gaming. And let me show you how. The first thing we're going to do, we'll head over to the Luminkey website, we're going to find the Nova, and then we're actually going to download the JSON for VIA, because it is VIA compatible, which is pretty cool. Now, I wish we didn't have to download the JSON separately, but this is kind of a standard thing nowadays. But once you download the JSON from Luminkey, we'll head over to the VIA website or the VIA app. Before we authorize the device, we'll go to the Settings tab. Remember, you can't really authorize it unless you have the JSON. In the Settings tab, you'll hit the Show Design tab button. Once you have the Design tab up, you're going to load the definitions from the JSON you just downloaded. So you just load the JSON in. Once you do that, make sure that your shown definitions is set to the Nova. If you have a different keyboard shown here, you'll just go to the shown keyboard definitions. You'll hit the drop down tab and then you'll select the Nova. Once you do that, you can actually go back to the configure tab and then you can authorize device. You'll see the Nova and you can pair it, and voila, you are now in VIA. And for a short overview of VIA, it's pretty simple. All you need to do is select which key you want to change. So if I want to change the Q to a different letter, we can do that here. It's pretty simple. You just select on the fly and you're good to go. There's no loading, no saving or anything like that. It's all good to go. Now, you can do pretty much anything in VIA, and this is where I set up mine. I used the 0 layer for my basic layer for, gaming. It has my WASD, it has shift for running, and things like that. I used a second layer for editing, and I used things for like shortcuts for cutting and pasting and dropping volume and such. And then I used my last layer for a standard 10 key for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the stuff. You can also adjust your backlighting in here, which I did to make it one solid color, just because I kind of prefer that. But yeah, VIA gives you the opportunity to set up the Macropad or the micro keyboard kind of any way you want. So yeah, love to see that. I'm really happy that you're going to introduce a Macropad that you're going to have VIA, so I can customize it and use it the way that I want to use it. So yeah, big ups to Luminkey, awesome point. But that brings us to the end of it. And this was me when I got back from traveling for the holidays to visit family. Also, apologies for not uploading a video for a month. I was actually traveling, and yeah. And also sorry to Luminkeys for taking so long for this video, because I was actually using it while I was traveling. It came in really handy. I was playing things on my Steam Deck, and I was able to just put it on the dock and kind of just chill, and I didn't have to take up a bunch of space, in an area or in a house that's not mine. with my little keyboard. And it was cool to use it for just basic things like Ball X Pit and, Megabonk and stuff like that. It was just a lot of fun. So yeah, I still use it to today. I think it's a really cool product. I think it's a lot of fun. Is it a bit of an overkill? For sure. But is it fun? Is it unique? Yeah, 100%. So yeah, let me know what you think. I'm always curious to hear what your thoughts are. And I look forward to 2026 being a bigger and better keyboard year. And for 2025, I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you for everybody that tuned in, that gave me questions, that gave me perspectives that I didn't have myself, that gave me feedback. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate this community. And for 2026, we're going to do things bigger and better, and we're going to make it even more community focused. So stay tuned for the next big things. And if you made it this far, I just want to say thank you for watching. And if you could drop a like and hit subscribe, it would mean the world to me. If you want to check out the Luminkey Nova, you can check the links in the description box below. And for this video, that's it. Thanks for watching, and remember, keep keyboarding.